there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and with this video, I'll be discussing my thoughts on Episode 6 of the anime series, Shingeki no Bahamut Genesis. And we're pretty much seeing, as we pick up where we left off, that Favreau, Kaiser, Amira, and Rita are basically taken into custody by the Orleans Knights. And I love how they have this emphasis on this one particular knight who's holding sort of a jewel very much the same as Amira's, tying back to her mother for all intents and purposes, or at least that's what she believes. And we're getting hints in this episode that essentially the God Key, the reason she stole this was because she wanted to be reunited with her mother. Somebody was kind of manipulating her into doing this, basically stealing the God Key with that as the surmise that, she would be able to attain this reunification with her mother and such like that. And I like how we're getting a lot more of the mythology in this episode to do with the dragon Bahamut, and it's appearing sort of out of the heavens as related to, Favreau by Jean d'Arc. But I think it's quite fascinating that we find out the keys themselves. There are two. There's a God Key and a Demon Key. The God Key was, Zeus himself had basically turned himself into this God Key, and I guess it's his essence or will that is supposed to be one half of the protecting, barrier of keeping the dragon Bahamut in tow, in sort of stasis. And then, of course, the Demon Key, is down to the devil himself, basically doing the same thing to make sure that this world isn't burned to a cinder, which is seemingly what everyone is trying to keep from happening by keeping Bahamut still within this stasis, with the God Key being in Amira's possession. And the question is, who is it that put Amira up to this to begin with? Of course, she's very incredulous and upset with Favreau when he admits that, he's kind of lying about taking her to Helheim, and we have hints that there's a reason she was going there, which was because that is where the other key is. Bringing these two keys together could potentially be all kinds of disastrous. So we have these three angels from the heavens basically coming down and telling this kingdom they now find themselves in, as, the unwitting wards of the Orleans Knights, basically telling the king and all of these ruling class people and everything like that to keep Favreau, Kaiser, Rita, and Amira and protect them and keep an eye on them. Don't kill Favreau and Kaiser and Rita, like the king assumes he might have to do, because they're still very much part of this whole process, whatever this unfolding game is. Much like Jean d'Arc had told Favreau, don't think so little of yourself. Favreau basically feels like he can just leave at any time, like he's not really an intertwining figure in this particular unfolding story, but very much she was a farm girl who never thought of herself as a knight, and now she is believed to be the holy warrior that will, basically destroy Bahamut, the dragon Bahamut, once and for all, and she has accomplished great things. And I have to beg the question, will it be she who actually is the holy warrior who takes down Bahamut? Will it be Favreau? Or more likely, could it be something like Kaiser? But all the while, it's kind of the idea of the heavenly angels to, hopefully bait out whoever put Amira up to this to begin with. And it's interesting, of course, as we see, she's locked in her room, and one of the Orleans Knights, the one who is potentially her father, comes calling and basically spirits her away in the middle of the night, sending Favreau, Kaiser, and Rita looking for her very drastically. And this is where we have that run-in, this encounter with Favreau and Jean d'Arc, where she's relating all about this history. But of course, we also see that the demons are not content to leave well enough alone, because they send these giant ghouls that look akin to the Titans in the series Attack on Titan, which then Jean d'Arc and the Orleans Knights are fighting with their golems and their dragon-back warriors and everything like that. And it's just very fascinating to me with Amira being confronted with this man who, who knows? He could be a demon incarnate. He could be the very same usurper and manipulator that prompted her to do this to begin with, steal the God Key to begin with. But he claims that the jewel he holds is one he was basically asked to by Amira's mother, and she assumes automatically, based on Favreau's words, asking her in a previous episode, don't you have a father out there somewhere? Amira's assumption is this is her father. And of course, sort of surrounding this whole situation, we also see that Azazel is now back in Coquitas, and he's not really being welcomed with open arms, because he's been bested by humans, and he's very much seemingly becoming a joke to his fellow demons and such like that. Basically, Lucifer, will want nothing to do with him. He's taunted for being the loser that he is. lines. Even his second-in-command, Cerberus, has some words to say along those lines. So as we're pretty much leaving off with this episode, both Kaiser and Favreau had this little bit more of a playful nature with each other. Favreau getting himself completely drunk and wasted, and Kaiser basically walking up to him and about to pull out his weapon, seemingly to get his vengeance that he's been seething and wanting to reap upon Favreau, and even Rita has been jibing at him, when are you going to do this? But their agreement, as Kaiser put it, to basically see this situation that is currently unfolding with Amira to its ends before they end up, turning upon each other. And I like how, because we know that they were friends in childhood and they used to spar, we kind of get that scenario playing out as they're unaware that Amira has been spirited away in the middle of the night, and basically Rita sends in her hand to stop them from messing about when she realizes that Amira has in fact been led astray and such like that. So just a really action-packed, fast-paced series that really pulls no punches. Like, no time is wasted in this series whatsoever. They are constantly giving us the mythology and putting forth the characterizations and moving at a solid momentum that just keeps me at the edge of my seat through every single episode. And of course, I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below if you've seen episode 6 of Shingeki no Bahamut Genesis, what you thought of it. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed the video and that it finds you well. And I'll catch you later. Peace.